October 2020 is shaping up to be an insane month when it comes to sneaker releases. We've got new 350 V2s, we've got Union LA Air Jordan restocks, and we've also got brand new off-white Nike Dunks. I know, it's crazy. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and this is Sit or Sell. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, and also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler. Like I said in the intro, October 2020 is shaping up to be a crazy sneaker release month, and even just in the first half of the month, we've got a lot of really great stuff dropping. I mean, I guess whenever you get closer to the end of the year and the holiday season, sneakers just start dropping out of nowhere. It's crazy. And October 2020 is no different. If you've never watched one of my sit or sell videos before, basically the way this video works is I take a look at the sneaker releases for like a 2 to 3 week period. I let you know about all the shoes that are dropping and what I like about them, and whether I think each shoe is gonna sit on shelves or sell out. So let me stop wasting your time and let's just jump right into it. Starting things off on October 1st, we've got the Nike Air Vapormax 2020 in stone blue. Up until recently, I was not a fan of the Vapormax. I felt like it was a shoe that was almost good, but there were so many things about it that just rubbed me the wrong way, and actually rubbed the back of my ankle too. That's kind of ironic. But the new Vapormax 2020 is not only an improvement over the previous Vapormaxes, but it also uses a lot of recycled materials, which makes it that much cooler. If you're looking to buy a Vapormax 2020 and you want to learn more about the shoe, I've actually done a full review on my channel, and if you'd like to check that out, there will be a link at the top of the screen. A couple of the improvements on the Vapormax 2020 is that they've either stiffened or lowered the air unit, which makes it much more stable. They've fixed the Flyknit upper, which I think really helps, and they've also added a pull string rather than a standard lacing system, which at first I didn't like at all, but then when I started to wear the shoe more over the last couple months, I've really started to come around to it. As the name of the stone blue colorway would suggest, this shoe is coming in a dark blue, which I think looks really clean on the silhouette. If you're looking to try out the new Vapormax, this is definitely a solid color to go with, and you shouldn't have too hard of a time grabbing it because I think this colorway will probably sit. Next up, we've got the Nike Zoom Freak 2 in white cement. So Giannis is now the defensive player of the year. Good for him. Sucks, he's probably never going to make it to the finals because his team sucks, but that doesn't mean he's not an excellent player. This Nike Zoom Freak 2 is coming out in a very solid and clean colorway. In fact, I think this might be my favorite Zoom Freak 2 colorway, and I'm pretty sure I said that about a previous colorway in the last video, but this one has that colorway beat. Don't remember what that colorway was, but I'm pretty sure I said it. Regardless, this shoe is really clean with a white upper and a black Nike swoosh, and of course it's also got that white cement gray splatter print midsole. If you're a Giannis fan or you're in the market for a solid basketball performance shoe that doesn't break the bank, the Nike Zoom Freak 2 is a good way to go, and this colorway in particular is really clean. And the good news is, if you're trying to grab this pair for yourself, it shouldn't be that difficult because I really don't think this shoe is going to sell out. And then rounding off October 1st, we've got the brand new off-white Nike Rubber Dunk collection. This collection features 3 different colorways, the University Blue, University Gold, and the Green Strike colorway. And unfortunately, the only one of those colorways releasing in the United States is the Green Strike colorway. What's interesting about this shoe is that it's apparently a mashup between the Nike Dunk and the Nike Pegasus line. 2 lines that I never thought would really fit together, but apparently they do on this shoe. Well, I guess that's definitely up for debate. This is a very polarizing shoe, and I think everyone can tell why. This shoe looks like it came straight out of the late 90s and early 2000s, and if you're a fan of that, you're gonna love this shoe. If you're not, you probably won't. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Even though all of these that was rude. Even though all 3 of these colorways are on the same exact silhouette, they all look very, very different. The University Gold color comes in sort of a warm mustard yellow accented by a black midsole. The University Blue colorway has a much more classic look with a metallic silver and gray upper accented by a gum and blue outsole. And the Green Strike colorway is just black and green and probably does the best job of hiding the paneling on the upper. So if you don't like the paneling, that's probably the colorway to go with. All 3 of these shoes feature the signature off-white branding like the Nike zip tie, the little orange tab on the back of the Nike swoosh, and of course the text on the medial side. But as far as off-white sneaker collaborations go, I think this might be one of the least popular off-white Nikes, and that's just because it's such a weird looking silhouette. Yes, it's on a Nike Dunk, but is it really a Nike Dunk? So I feel like it's one of those shoes that is not really for dunk heads, but it's also not really for off-white heads. It's kind of just a weird mashup collaboration that I think mainly hypebeasts will buy. Regardless, I'm gonna try and grab a pair, probably 1 because I'm a hypebeast, but 2 because I want to give you guys a full review, so make sure to stay tuned for that if I'm lucky enough to grab a pair for myself. And of course, as with most off-white sneaker collaborations, all 3 of these colorways will definitely sell out. Moving on to October 2nd, we've got the Russell Westbrook Converse Why Not pack. This is a really interesting pack that comes with an Air Jordan 16 and a Converse Chuck 70 High. And unfortunately, if you like one of those shoes and don't like the other shoe, you have to buy them both because they come in one box. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a really weird pairing of sneakers, and I don't really understand why the Air Jordan 16 relates to the Converse Chuck 70 High. Maybe he just loves that silhouette, I have no idea. Actually, I just checked some promo materials and they are his two favorite silhouettes, so that's exactly why they're in the pack. The Chucks come in pretty much all white and the Air Jordan 16s come in all black, and they both feature this really interesting, almost 3D embroidered chain logo around the top of the shoe. I'm gonna be straight with you guys, this pack is definitely not for me. I wouldn't wear either of those two shoes, but at the end of the day, it's a limited pack and it includes Jordans, so most likely it will sell out. Then moving on to October 3rd, we've got the Adidas YEEZY 350 V2 Carbon. This 350 was originally named the Azrael. In fact, they changed the name of the shoe so late, the labels on the box still say Azrael and not Carbon. And to be real with you guys, this is probably one of the best 350 V2s to drop all year. You've got some really nice contrast with the black and gray upper against the cream or white outsole and midsole. It's got the new Yeezy lacing system, the infinity loop system, which I like to call it. That means that you don't actually have ends for the laces, but they're also not going to be dangling around, and you don't have to have like this ridiculously big Yeezy bow. And not only that, I've actually done a full review on this sneaker. There'll be a link at the top of the screen, and in that review I'm actually giving this pair away, so make sure to check that video out. But as we all know, it's a Yeezy 350 V2. It's a solid, simple, and clean colorway, and those always do well, so for that reason this shoe is definitely going to sell. Then moving on to October 9th, we've got the Nike LeBron 18 James Gang. This is one of the first LeBron 18 colorways to release, and the colorway is based off his family, the James Gang. The front half of the shoe comes in black battle knit or fly knit or whatever they're calling it now, and then the back half of the shoe comes in this really cool sort of graffitied multicolor panel. The midsole of the shoe comes in white, accented by a multicolor rubber outsole, and overall it's one of the cleaner LeBron 18 colorways that I've seen so far. I'm also starting to really get into the LeBron 18 silhouette. I feel like the design is so much more sleek than the 17, and I think it's a really nice refinement. At the end of the day though, it's a $200 performance basketball sneaker, and it's probably not going to be very limited, if at all, so because of that, I think the shoe is going to sit. Also releasing on the 9th, we've got the Nike Adapt Automax Fireberry. I think this is like the third or fourth colorway of the Adapt Automax to release, and it comes in a primarily black, gray, and pink colorway. As you probably guessed from the name, this is an auto-lacing lifestyle sneaker, and it features an air unit in the heel. At this point, there have been a good amount of auto-lacing Nike sneakers, so I feel like the gimmick is kind of worn off, and this shoe as a whole is just a chunk. It looks like a brick on your feet because of how large it is. Does that mean people don't like it? Absolutely not, but it's a $400 sneaker that is very hard to wear, and so because of that, I think it's gonna sit. Then on October 11th, we've got the Air Jordan 3 Blue Cement. I've also heard people call this shoe the Varsity Royal 3s, and I think either name works. I'm just going with the one that they showed on the sneakers ad. And to be fair, I mean, the name fits. It looks like a blue black cement or a blue white cement. The only difference is the blue leather on the upper. It also looks a lot like the red cements that released during All-Star Weekend. And while I don't love this shoe because I feel like it kind of twists this classic into something that I wouldn't really want to rock on an everyday basis, it's still a shoe that I think a lot of people will be excited for. It's a brightly colored Air Jordan 3, and if you're into that, or if you just love blue, this is definitely the one to go for. And I think because it's an Air Jordan 3, it probably will sell out. Also releasing on October 10th, we've got the Air Jordan 4 PSG. I'm not a PSG fan at all, but I've gotta say, most of the PSG Jordans that have released over the last couple years have been fire. The 5s in particular were really solid. They looked like metallic black 5s, but they had the PSG logo on the heel. It was a dope collab. And it looks like they're turning things up a notch with the PSG 4s, because maroon on a pair of 4s, fire. This PSG Air Jordan 4 comes in a primarily white leather upper accented by black and maroon detailing. And I just love the color blocking on this shoe, especially on the heel tab. You've got this really nice maroon heel tab with this giant PSG logo. It's such a dope look. As far as collab sneakers, or I guess partnership sneakers in this case, this is one of the strongest of those to release this year, and I love the way it looks. I have no idea how limited this sneaker is going to be. I would expect that in Paris, where the team is based, it'll be less limited than it is here in the United States, which was definitely the case for the previous collaboration, but I don't think it's going to be an impossible sneaker to grab in the United States. It might just be a little bit harder, or you might have to pay slightly above retail. I don't know, I'm just making guesses, but I definitely would expect this sneaker to sell out, and sell out very quickly. Then moving on to October 11th, we've got the women's Air Jordan 1 Lucky Green. This colorway is inspired by Michael Jordan's 63-point game against Boston, and that's why it's got a green upper for the Celtics and red accent for the Bulls. And the more that I look at this shoe, the more that it reminds me of the Heineken Dunks. For whatever reason, they've decided to make this shoe a women's exclusive, which I think will bum some larger footed guys out, but it is what it is. And for me personally, as much as I like Air Jordan 1s, I'm not a huge fan of green Air Jordan 1s because they're always Celtics colors, and I'm a Sixers fan, so get that out of here. Regardless, it's a good looking shoe. It comes in nicely tumbled leather on the upper, and I think a lot of people are going to love this sneaker. As with most women's Jordans that guys want to buy as well, the higher sizes usually go for more money and the lower sizes go for a little bit less, but at the end of the day, all the sizes sell out, and I think that's going to be exactly the case with this pair. I think this shoe is going to sell. Then continuing on to October 15th, we've got the Nike Zoom Freak 2 in black and purple. This is another Giannis Antetokounmpo signature sneaker, and it comes in a black and purple makeup, which I'm actually kind of into. I mean, I know I say it whenever we get a black and purple sneaker, but it matches perfectly with my Ravens uniform, or jersey. I don't have a full uniform, I just have a jersey. I'm not weird. I do love the Ravens though. Go Lamar Jackson, we got this. It's a good looking sneaker. If you like black and purple, this is a great way to go, and if you're looking for a solid budget basketball performance sneaker, also a good way to go, but I don't think this sneaker is gonna sell out. After that, we've got 3 new sneakers from the Beyonce Ivy Park Adidas collection. The 3 sneakers include the Ivy Park Adidas Forum Low, the Ivy Park Adidas Forum Mid, and the Ivy Park Adidas Ultraboost 1.0. The Adidas Ivy Park Forum Low comes in sort of a vachetta tan upper accented by a white cup sole. It's also got a strap. That doesn't do anything for me, but hey, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, I don't know. It's also a women's exclusive, I think, so if you're a guy, it might be harder for you to grab a pair of these. The Adidas Ivy Park Forum Mid comes in more of a mint green and forest green makeup, and I actually think I like this color scheme better than the Forum Low. It also features a strap on the upper, but for mid-tops, that's more commonplace. And then finally, we've got what probably will be the most hyped up sneaker in the group, and that's the Ultraboost 1.0. This shoe comes in a bright neon green monochromatic upper. In fact, even the Boost midsole is neon green. The only other accent color that I can see on the shoe is the gum outsole, and it actually ties in with the green pretty nicely. I still personally prefer the maroon and orange colorway that came out a few months ago, but this is a pretty solid follow-up. Again though, as with all the other sneakers in the collection, it is a women's exclusive, so if you're like a really big-footed guy, you're probably out of luck. And most likely, just like the previous Ivy Park drop, this collection will definitely sell out. Then rounding off the 15th, we've got another pretty large themed collection from Adidas, and that's the Toy Story Adidas collaboration. This collection includes 6 sneakers, and I actually have to pull up my notes from my phone because I don't remember all of them, but they're all Toy Story themed, so that's a good thing, I guess, if you love Toy Story. The collection includes a Toy Story Adidas Dame 7 in the Buzz Lightyear colorway, a Dawn Issue 2 in the Woody colorway, a Deep Threat in the Alien colorway, an NMD R1 in the Sheriff Wood colorway, also kind of a weird name for a shoe, Top 10 High in the T-Rex colorway, and the Superstar in the Hammy colorway. I like Toy Story as much as the next guy, but I don't feel like I need to be wearing a Toy Story sneaker. They all look fine though. They're not overtly Toy Story except for maybe the NMD R1 Sheriff Wood. Again, weird. Could have called it Sheriff Wood. That actually would be worse. And I guess the people who are going to be buying these sneakers probably want people to know that they're wearing Toy Story sneakers, so probably fine with it. I don't know. Not for me, but just like we saw with the Star Wars collection that dropped last week, I think this collection will also sell out. Moving on to October 16th, we've got the re-release of 3 out of the 4 Union LA Air Jordan sneakers. The shoes re-releasing are the Union LA Zoom 92s, the Union LA Delta Mids, and the Union LA Air Jordan 4 off Noirs. So this restock has been a long time coming because the shoes first released exclusively on Union LA's website back in, I think it was August, and the collection was supposed to re-release on September 30th without the Guava Ice colorway at a bunch of different retailers, but for whatever reason it got pushed back to October 16th. But now we're getting a second crack at grabbing these sneakers, but to be honest with you, I think it's going to be harder to grab them now than it was on the Union LA website. All of these sneakers are great, and obviously people really like them because they sold out previously and are reselling for crazy money, and I think the only one that I personally would go for is the Union LA Air Jordan 4s because I don't really love the other 2 silhouettes, but it doesn't really matter what I would go for because regardless, they're going to sell out and they're going to sell out instantly. But now, finally rounding off the first half of the month on October 17th, we've got the Air Jordan 12 Concorde. This Air Jordan 12 comes in pretty much all black, accented by Concorde purple. And it actually reminds me a lot of the Master 12s, except replacing the gold with purple. I used to be a huge fan of Air Jordan 12s, but as I got older and started to get a lot closer to my 30s, I realized it felt so much like boots on my feet. They weren't the most comfortable Jordan in the world. I didn't really love the way that they looked, and even though the shoe definitely would have been something that I would have gone for back in like 2013, it's not something I would go for now, but it's still an Air Jordan. Air Jordans are really hot right now, and I definitely think this shoe is going to sell out. And then rounding off today's sit or sell, we've got the Air Jordan 35 Center of Gravity. This is obviously the latest flagship Air Jordan silhouette, and because of that, a lot of people are interested to try out the new technology. I don't have a pair yet personally, but from what I can tell from other people's videos and the press information, it kind of seems like this shoe is just a slightly more padded Air Jordan 34. And if that's something you're looking forward to, then definitely go out and grab it. I will definitely be grabbing a pair to give you guys a full review, and I would expect, like most other new performance basketball models, this shoe will definitely sell out. But that pretty much wraps up all the releases for the first half of October 2020. Now I would love to know your thoughts on all of these drops and which shoes you're looking forward to most, so let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.